Yo, 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 boom, boom, yo. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up? Yo, today is a very special day. Today is a very special episode. You know, today I'm coming to you live with, which is a good show, which is a major show, and coming to you live with the 86th episode. We got 15 more left, y'all, to the 100th episode. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. So, here we are. Uh, oh, the 86th episode of the In Your Face
in your face.
show. And I'm here with my main man, Mr. Oliver Hubbard. Let them know. Introduce yourself, my brother.
We right here, brother. We right here in Camden, New Jersey. But we really in Camden, New Jersey, but we in Plainfield, New Jersey too. We we give our hearts and our souls and our minds to Camden, New Jersey tonight, to Chestnut Street, to Broadway, to everybody in the East Coast that's looking at us. My name is Oliver Hubbard. I'm a graduate of Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey, and also I'm a former student at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. And I give love to all the people I'm looking at, regardless of where they're from. I'm a cerebral palsy born disabled person. I'm partially blind in one eye, and I'm just blessed to be here. I'm saved. I love the Lord with all my heart, with all my soul. He turned my life around. He planted my feet on solid ground, and he's just teaching me right now, how to give him glory, how to give him praise, how to give him honor. Um, in the past, I just want to give praise to all that he allowed me to do, all that he's allowing me to do right now. I published my first published short story, and I also have some music that I'm trying to develop, some R&B gospel that I developed 3 years ago. But I just want to share my story to everybody. I hope that y'all get some inspiration from me and from my brother. I met him like 5 minutes ago, and already I know he's strong, and he's girded, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
with the Holy Spirit, and I know he's got inspiration, aspirations, and determinations, and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
and he's living it out right now.
Yes, sir.
So, so if anybody's defeated, if anybody's downcast, watch this show, please, and you'll get some inspiration, like a bucket of cornbread and black eyed peas. If you just eat a little bit of it, you'll feel better. So watch the show. Check us out. Learn a little bit, and we'll learn from you. So
So, my man, Mr. Oliver Hubbard, Mr. Hubbard, how was your day going, man?
my day was going pretty well. It was going pretty well, but it's going better now. Now that I'm on the
Thank you.
show, and
Yes,
get
sir.
a chance to get some inspiration and encouragement, because we all need it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dealing,
So, Mr.
dealing with what we're dealing with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Mr. Hubbard, okay, where I have I'm all questions. I got a lot of questions. So how's life? What was life like, for you?
My life was fun. It was adventurous. It was full of opportunities when I was coming up. You know,
Mm,
uh, anytime you live in Camden, New Jersey, as a young child, and you come up there and you have the type of parents that I had. It was very um, adventurous, because
Mm-hmm.
my father was a foot doctor in Camden, New Jersey, right there on Haddon Avenue, and my mother was a school teacher in Philadelphia as I was coming up. And as I was coming up, my parents moved to Lawnside, New Jersey when I was 3 years old. And it just was a very lifting experience because a lot of the people that I grew up around were very motivated and very inspirational in my life. And I was a member of Jack and Jill of America when I was coming up. And Jack and Jill was very inspirational for me too, and gave me a chance to just be around some black people that really wanted to be about something and really were trying to push themselves to go higher and higher, um, in education or in any fields that they were going through. And I was privileged to be around the people that I was around because not a lot of people had that opportunity, you know.
All right.
And even when they had an opportunity, they don't really take advantage of the opportunity, you know.
Mm.
They just let them pass by them, and they take stuff for granted. But God is good. God is good. He knew what he was doing even when I didn't. You know,
Yeah.
so I thank God for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I hear you have a book out called The Crash. You know, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the book is about when I was 3 years old. My parents' house had a car go up into the bedroom, and it happened when I was three, and It happened when I was six, rather, and the car went right up into my parents' bed, and the car really harmed my mom because she had back problems all the way up until she passed, but she was still able to function and still able to go to work and everything, and still function even with back pain. And the guy actually died when the car, landed in the house. And I was in the back of the house in my bed, and we got shook. The whole house got shook, and it woke us all up 3 o'clock in the morning. And we were like, "Whoa, what's going on with this? What happened?" We look in the. I ran to the bedroom at 6 years old, and I see a car in my parents' bedroom, and I'm like, "What is going on?" You know, Smoke and dust everywhere, and everything's thrown around, and like, wow. And then it happened again when I was 8 years old. A young lady got mad at her parents and stole the car and drove off and lost control of the car and drove up into our house again. And we were like, wow, what's going on with this? And like right then at that time, I didn't really acknowledge the fact that it was God that spared our life until, I got saved at 16 years old, and the Lord, brought it to my mind that that was a miracle, you know. And I tried to use that as a tool for motivation through my life, and it was really something. It was
Mm-hmm.
really something.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote about that in a book, and then also early in my early years, I met Sammy Davis Jr. at this supper club called Latin Casino, and my mother took me backstage, and Sammy gave us an autograph and gave me an autograph, and I was like, wow, at 6 years old, that's like wow,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. And several times we got a chance to see Ray Charles in concert and everything, and we enjoyed his music because in that era he was big back then in the '60s, and that was something that my parents loved. They loved music and they loved R&B music, and They love soul music, and that's the kind of era that I came up in with the Temptations and the Supremes and the OJs and Philadelphia music. Because I grew up around WDASFM Philadelphia, all my life, and that's all that I listened to was R&B soul music, and
Yeah,
that's what shaped me, coming up.
I grew up around it myself.
I know you did. I know you did. I mean, Butter and Mimi, they they were like, yo, they still are. They're big time personalities right now, in the East Coast.
Hmm.
When you say Philadelphia music, you say WDAS-FM Philadelphia.
Hmm.
That's what you say.
Hmm.
I didn't know New York music as much as Philadelphia, but for me, Philadelphia music was was what I was shaped with, coming up.
Hmm.
But in the book, I wrote about that. I wrote about my experiences with Christ. When I came to Christ, how He turned my life around, took me from drugs and alcohol, and I went away to college and lived that college life, and I wrote about that. I wrote about a whole lot of things, about my experiences and how Christ, just turned me inside out, you
Hmm.
know, and I'm thankful for it, you know. So yeah,
So the question is, dealing with cerebral palsy, what was it like dealing with that your whole life?
it was tough. It was tough. 'Cause I had 5 operations from the time I was 3 till I was 16.
Mm.
Five major operations on my legs. Because my legs used to turn in when I was younger, and I walked like pigeon toed, and I had to break. They had to break my legs out and then stretch my hamstrings out so that I could walk, a little bit better. And I had to be put in body casts 5 times after the operation. And then after each operation, I had to learn how to walk again each time. So I was constantly in the hospital, out of the hospital, in the hospital, going to physical therapy, having exercises be done on my legs, learning how to walk up the steps, learning how to walk with either a cane or a crutch or, or a walker. It was constantly in and out of the hospital for most of my early life. But the fact of me being a child and being younger, some of the stuff I was going through, I was just going through it, and it was just a part of my life, and I really didn't like. Um, it wasn't like drudgery for me because I was so young. It didn't really phase me. I just took it in stride, you know. And then I had good nurses and good doctors around me to support me at that time. And seeing that my father was a doctor already, it kind of helped things, you know, as I was coming on. And then, my mother taught me how to swim when I was 6. She let me go to the Germantown Boys Club, the Y over in Germantown, and that's where I learned how to swim.
Mm.
And I learned how to tread water and all of that, which really helped my legs, because my legs would get stiff sometime, because I had to wear braces at night. And that was a trip because I never wanted to wear my braces. I always tried to take them off in the middle of the night,
Dang.
because
Yeah.
they would hurt, certain spots they would hurt, and I really couldn't get no sleep at night with braces on, so I always would take them off.
I
Yeah,
understand, man. And yeah, that stuff is harmful. Yeah, it's that stuff. A lot of that stuff dealing with your disability. in your life, it's a tough thing to deal with, being looked at a certain way and being just being treated like you're remedial, you know,
Yeah.
and people not treating you like a human, they're treating you like an animal,
Yeah.
and they're treating you like you're not something, like you're not human, like you're not a human being, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like being bullied. You was never bullied, was you?
Yeah. I was bullied in school. I teased in school all the time. Teased in high school, laughed at in
Oh,
high school, joked at, I mean, I had an instance, I had an instance all the time where a child, when I was in junior high, used to try to trick me all the time.
mm,
And,
mm.
what instance I had, we was out in recess and I won't mention his name. He's still around. He tried to trip me and I took my cane and I hit him. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna take this. And I got suspended for 2 days for hitting him.
Hey,
So
but
yeah,
man, what was it like being on disability? Very, was it very hard? Very, was it a struggle dealing with that?
yeah, sometime it was, you know, sometime it was because you want to fit into what everybody else is doing. You want to be accepted by what by everyone, and you know when you're different, people act a certain way with you, and you know it's not always good. But I understood. Looking back on it, we were kids. You know what I'm saying? And we
Right, right.
weren't mature. You know what I mean? And because we weren't mature, we acted a certain way. Oops. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Seeing that we weren't mature, they acted a certain way. You know, and I tried to take it in stride. You know, but I did also have some good friends. That loved me at the time and that supported me at the time, and good family members. That supported me at the time. So the punches didn't hurt as much, because I had them around. I had a good support system for the most part, you know. So
Yeah.
it didn't hurt as much, you know.
Very understandable. Very understandable. Like, me, I've had a disability all my life, and I've been through some of the same things. I've been through a lot of the same things you've been through, the made fun of, the told that, that you're retarded, told that you're slow, told all of that, and I've managed to accomplish more than a lot of the people, more than every last one of them that talked down to me when I was going through those times,
Right.
and you've accomplished more than those people that told you wasn't who you said who you was, and they treated you like trash, and a lot of that stuff is a lot of that stuff back then, man. It was wrong. It was wrong for people to do that, but
Yeah.
you live and you learn, and that's a testimony to tell. And there's a lot of kids going through that today, and growing up in that environment of disability, and a lot of them can't help it. A lot of them can't help, what they was born with,
Right. Right. Right.
and they was born with that disability, and everybody is not they're not accountable for that, and but as long as they don't allow it to cripple their mind and cripple and keep them down, keep them to where they're lazy. Keep them to where they won't want to do anything. You know, even if you
Right,
don't have
right.
any legs, you still can overcome anything. Even if you don't have any
Yeah,
arms, you still can accomplish anything. You know,
yeah,
even if you don't have your whole body, even if your whole body is paralyzed, you still can accomplish anything. You know,
yeah.
no matter what
And
nobody says. Hmm.
yeah, yeah. And then you know the the beautiful thing about Christ is that He accepts us as we are. He
Yes, sir.
moves he moves the things out of your life that are holding you back and gives you strength to deal with the issues that are holding you back and gives you that self-esteem to to um to lean on him and gives you strength to keep on pushing. You know, I
Yes, sir.
I think I always had a get up and go spirit, but the minute I met Christ, it got greater.
Hmm.
And that's the beautiful thing about Christ. I was thinking about that scripture where he told the man on the bed, he said, "Take up your bed and walk." You know, and that's what we have to have, that get up, take up your bed and walk spirit. You
Right.
know, block out the hindrances and block out the difficulties and get up and walk. You don't have to walk fast, you don't have to walk slow, but just get up and walk.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's something that a lot of folks in this world, even if they have their limbs, even if they have their arms, their arms, their legs, their toes, their feet, it's like, and that's what I learned, man. I learned that a lot of people don't want to become, don't want to overcome anything nowadays. They wanted everything, give it to them now. They don't. They want something for nothing. They don't want to work hard for something, and they don't want to work hard for it and appreciate it. Like they want it now. So like that's why God kept telling me, be patient. He had me he taught me how to be patient. Taught me to be patient. Taught me to sit back and just wait. Sit back and observe everything in your life. So that way, notice how everything changes in your life, and notice how every time that thing changes in your life, you begin to move up a certain part, move up a level, and a level, and a level, and a level, and levels. And that's what I learned, and as a person, you gotta be able to, even if you're getting hit, even if you get hit with life, keep on punching back, keep on fighting back, keep on overcoming, because you don't know what's the outcome of that, and that's what is. It's amazing, man. So I want to ask you, what was it like going to a smart school like Morehouse? You know,
oh, oh, I loved it, man. It was the best, one of the best times of my life. I loved it.
yeah,
you know,
man,
I
you had to be.
became I became a man. I wasn't smart because I was only a C student, uh, C minus student, coming into college. So, and I said, even as a student, I wasn't smart. I just, and a lot of times I was going backward as far as my studies. But once my sophomore year came up, I started applying myself. But that experience was one of the most eye-opening experiences that I ever had, because it was people coming from all around the country, and I met people that I don't think I ever would have met if I didn't, go into an environment like that.
Mm-hmm.
And once I met Coretta Scott King at 18, um, that was just like, okay, there's no excuse and you can make it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I would have loved to have met Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all those guys, man. I would have loved to meet them, man, and just listen to them preach, listen to them speak, and just to talk to them and gain wisdom and knowledge from them, and to learn those things. I always tell my dad too. I always tell my dad I would have loved to been lived in the '70s. He was like, "No, you wouldn't have." I was like,
I
"Man,
know, I
yeah,
know. 70s
yeah,
were like good and the 70s were like bad, just like the 60s. The 60s were good and then the 60s were bad. You know, it was a rough time for black people, man. I'm telling you, we went through some things as black people, um, that it made us harder. It made us harder. You know, it really made us harder. And you know,
yeah,
to go through that period of time, you had to have real faith to go through that period of time. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You had to have some faith because we could have went down as a people totally during the 60s, but we had to resolve to keep on pushing. You
right.
know, it's like listening to a good Aretha Franklin song. Once you listen to it, it affects you. And
Hmm.
we had some strength back then in those days that we really need to get back. We need to get that strength back, as a people.
Yeah,
And I think we're getting it back through the Black Lives Matter movement and that environment. I think we're getting it back, but we need to keep it. We need to keep it.
very much understandable. So,
Yeah.
sir, you know, what was it like, being like writing your very first book?
It was challenging because I was partially blind. I got partially blind 5 years ago, but it was something that I always wanted to do. And when I got involved in a book club here in Plainfield, it kind of made it easier. And I just wanted to write down some stuff that was dear to me so that I could spread it and share it, you know, before I got too old and couldn't do it,
Hmm.
you know, or because something if something happened to me and I couldn't do it, I would be like, oh man, I didn't do this. I gotta write. I wanted to write about my grandparents. I wanted to do that. I wanted to put their memory out, and then I wanted to write about some of my experiences. So I would have it, later on, written down.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that was important. And um, coming from, I wanted to write down my experiences with my mother too, because her being a school teacher, it really made an impact on me because she helped me to learn. As I was coming up, if I didn't have her, they could have classified me as being retarded and slow and backward. You know, that
Hmm.
could have happened to me. So her really pushing me, it really helped, and it helped me not to be classified. You know, because that's a lot of things that black kids deal with today. When they're growing up, you know, these organizations they try to classify you and put you in a box. You
Hmm.
know, and it's really hard because the parents work hard so the children won't be pushed to the side,
All
you
right.
know. So that was one reason why I wanted to write it, just to put it in writing, you know. So, but it was good. It was good. I just couldn't wait to get it out and get it done, you know.
Awesome, awesome. So, what was it like being the son of a foot doctor, of a doctor?
It was special, man. It was special. It was special. I never had to worry about, being sick, or never had to worry about not knowing what to do if I was hurting, or my legs were not operating right, or something happened. I could just go to my dad and say, Dad, yo, you gotta help me out. My legs are hurting. Well, you gotta go in the whirlpool, son. You gotta soak your legs. You gotta get your legs moving. You gotta stand up. You gotta exercise. You gotta keep your physical body, in motion. And it was a real help to me. It was a real help. I'm glad that I didn't have any other parents but them, because if I would have, I don't think I would have went far. You know,
Very
I think
understandable.
I think I would have just been in a corner, just evaporating and dying. You know,
Very understandable. God blesses us with family that God blesses us with family that will actually care, that will actually understand, and that He knows that will love us and love you, and you know what I'm saying. And not every children is born with great parents, not every child is born with a good dad or a good mom. There's a lot of kids that's born without a dad and or mom. There's a
yeah,
lot of kids,
yeah,
as you know, there's a lot of
and
kids
and
who don't.
and I want to
Go
say
ahead.
they weren't perfect. They weren't perfect parents. They did a lot of things, that weren't right and all, like all parents do. They weren't perfect by no means. Um, but we learn from situations. We learn from situations. I went through a lot of tough times, because of my parents being my parents.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yo,
yeah, it's
you
true.
know,
It's
I
it's
mean, because I came from my parents were divorced since I was 7, so I went through that. You know, one fighting against another, this one fighting against this one, and not getting along, and I went through that. You know,
yeah,
my, my dad
like
having a girlfriend and all of that kind of mess, and them not being together and all that. I went through all that.
yeah, there's a lot of children as born without a family, and it's very understandable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Well, very understandable. Broken homes are all around America, all around the world, I should say.
yeah, all
Um,
around the world.
but I have a question. Like, what was your what's that word? Oh, the word, the word I was going to ask you. Oh, I forgot it. I forgot it. It'll come right back to me. It'll come right back to me. But how did you feel about graduating out of college and overcome, like, just accomplishing that goal in life, in your life?
I was so relieved, and I was so relieved, because after I had done 5 years at Morehouse, I didn't get a degree from Morehouse. I got burnt out my 5th year.
Mm,
So I came back home, and to move in with my I went to move in with my mom first. And then after I moved in with my mom, I moved with my dad. And I laid out of school a year And then after that year, then I went back to Glassboro State, and I did 3 years at Glassboro after doing 5 years at Morehouse. And I was just so tired after. I wasn't tired. I just wanted to get out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to get that piece of paper so I could get out, get a job, make make some money, get my
Mm-hmm.
own place, and get myself established. That was my thing. And once I did it, oh my God, it was something. It was something. I was
Yeah.
so I was so glad to finish. Just get the piece of paper and finish. You know, and because I had went through. It was so hard. It was so hard when I didn't graduate Morehouse and when I had to come home. It was hard because I wanted to graduate from there so bad, and it was really hard not graduating
Mm-hmm.
from there, and then really hard coming home knowing that I didn't graduate, and then looking at the work world, and it was hard. It was
Mm.
hard
So how did
because
you do? But
I knew I couldn't do everything that everybody else could do because of my disability. So I had to rely on my brain more than I could rely on my body.
understandable.
So I had to get that degree just to get me over the hump because I knew there was going to be challenges for me, first of all, to get a job, and then for companies to believe in me that I could do a job was going to be harder because I had that stigma on me of being disabled.
Mm.
So I knew I had to get a degree so that it could put me through the door, you know.
Right.
And then because I was black and I was a male, I had to really do it even more, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't have any hindrances of getting in the door.
Right. Right. So how did you cope with, some of your ailments of from that from cerebral palsy and all other things, not being able to use your legs like you want to?
Prayer, brother, prayer, and the word of God
Uh-huh.
and fellowship and other Christians being around me and edifying me and building me up and let me know that I could do it. And like I said, having that mind of Christ and being an overcomer, you know, it made it easier. You know,
Very much. You
it made it
know,
easier
I
because
just got
if I didn't have the word and if I didn't have Christ, I wouldn't have been able to do all of that.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have.
Very
I know
understandable.
that. I know that off the off the right off the key. I knew I wouldn't be able to do that.
And he caused you to accomplish some amazing things, man, that not many people can say that they went to Morehouse College. That's one college that is like for like smart people. You know what I'm saying? For people that's like really smart, and you've
I
managed to
wasn't smart, and like I said, I wasn't smart. I wasn't smart. I wasn't. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I wasn't smart, you know. And I love the party, man. Coming up, I love the party. I'm
hey
not
man,
one to, I'm not one to act like I never did anything. I love the party.
with the
The
ladies and all that stuff, huh?
whole scene was there. It was look. If you ever want to go to a place to have a good time, go to Atlanta for a week, just for a week, to get it out your system. You
uh,
know, if you go to Atlanta, get it out your system. Just look at 10 females in Atlanta, and you will stay there for the rest of your life.
I
You
feel
would
you,
not
man. I feel you.
you would not want to come back home. You will want to stay there for the rest of your
Uh,
life.
oh man.
They had the most beautiful, most finest black women in the world there. I'm telling you.
Mm.
I mean, the ugliest girl is the finest girl.
He said the ugliest girl. Funny. I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you. I feel
It's
you, man.
like it's like goodness gracious.
I feel you, man. I feel so like you know, being at Morehouse College. Did you feel? I could tell that a lot of people. Did you feel intimidated? Being around people that knew more than you.
Sometime you did, yeah. Sometime. Cause I had guys, man, I had friends that like my roommate was a engineering major. He was from Poughkeepsie, New York. And he was so smart. He just all he had to do was put his foot in the classroom and he got an A or B. Like me,
Yeah.
I I worked my tail off and couldn't hardly get C's, it seemed like. And
Yeah.
the hardest thing about college is priorities. If you don't have your priorities in order, and if you're not there to really buckle down and study, especially at black colleges, it will blow your mind. It will
Oh,
blow your mind. And that was the hardest thing for me to do was to just get my priorities in order and just focus on school, and nothing else. And I didn't mature really until I went to Rowan and went to Glassboro and had came home for a while, and I got the partying thing sort of out of my system by that time. Cause when I was at Morehouse, man, it was like a party on Wednesday. It was a party on Thursday. It was a party on Friday. It was a Q party over here. It was a Delta party over there. It was an AKA party over there. It was a party on Tuesday night in Morris Brown. it
oh
was
man.
just it was just the social life there was out of this world. You could find a party anytime,
Oh,
but
oh
it it,
man.
it, it was it was prioritizing your time, and if you wasn't able to do that, it was easy to fail out of school. It was easy. You could fail out of school like that, but you had to learn how to prioritize your time. And that's what I really didn't have, my first years of college there. I didn't know I didn't know how to prioritize. I wanted to graduate. Listen, I wanted to graduate, but I wasn't mature enough to really buckle down and push all the distractions out of the way. I wasn't really able to do that because I was too young. I was too young.
Mm.
You know, I was really too young. I didn't really have it. And I love the Lord. I love the Lord. I love God, but I just wasn't mature enough to do it. Now, some people were, and they could party all night and go to class and get an A, but I wasn't able to do that. you know, and that's what held me back. So I wasn't like a genius. I just worked hard got when I got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm tired of the partying and I gotta focus.
Mm-hmm.
When I got to that point, even then, it was I had to work really hard just to make a D or a C.
That's wild.
And it was difficult, man. Morehouse is one of the best schools in the country, and you just have to have your priorities in order when when you go to a school like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's no easy cakewalk.
Uh,
No
that's
easy
that's
cakewalk.
that's why like that's why it's very important for kids to go into college to just learn about being an adult, and because once you get in high school, there ain't no mom and daddy. You know what I'm saying? You got to defend up for yourself.
You gotta fend for yourself. You gotta feed yourself. Going away to
Yeah.
college, you gotta feed yourself. You gotta wash your clothes. You gotta make it happen, man. Nobody gonna do it for you.
Hmm. And
You
that's
really gotta have your priorities in order. But you know, I, I, I I thank God for everything I went through. I thank God for everything I went through. I, you know, I thank God. I wasn't the perfect black student. No, I wasn't.
very understandable.
wasn't.
I
But
mean, look, I never thought a man of your stature would be a party monster.
brother Hopper, man, please, please. That's that's why I love Jesus so much now because he took me out of so much stuff.
You
You know,
were
it
like,
was
I
stuff.
gotta get this boy out of here before he
It was
party his
stuff.
eyes out.
It was stuff I couldn't tell my parents I did because I knew how they would deal with it. I'm telling you, I did stuff that they don't even know now, and they passed away, and I never told them. I
Well,
never told them. You know, they wouldn't have let me back in the house if I would have told them.
hey, don't ask, don't tell. You know what I mean? Don't ask,
I,
don't tell.
I shut my mouth when I walked in that door. Shut.
Yeah, don't
I
ask,
was
don't tell.
I was a perfect child, Mom. I was perfect, and Mom
Whatever.
knew I was. And Mom knew I was lying. She knew I was lying.
Uh, uh, I mean, hey, you may have a disability, but you ain't no slouch. You ain't no
No, ain't
slouch.
no slouch. Ain't no slouch. I love some fine women too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My
Hey,
heart,
we all love fine women. You know what I'm saying? We all love us. You
my
know what
heart,
I
my heart got so broke. My heart got broke every week by a Spelman night.
mean? I mean, hey, man. We all go through heartbreaks. We all go through, times where we happy, sad, everything. That's just a part of life. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
hey, it's just a part of growing up. And as long as you don't let it keep you down, as long as you don't get too high or get too low, you're just right there. You're good.
You're right
You're
there.
good.
Yeah,
You know,
and I
everything.
appreciate it.
Hmm?
I had memories. Um, I mean, remember House Party,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
first one.
Uh-huh.
The girl AJ Johnson, the dark skinned girl.
Mm-hmm.
She was a Spelmanite when I was down at Morehouse.
Oh wow.
She was our homecoming queen.
Oh wow.
And we used to party like yo.
Oh, you
When
talking about that dark skinned girl that those with Tisha Campbell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
She started
Oh,
as a freshman when I started as a freshman, and she pledged Delta down there. And a matter of fact, she was from Jersey City. She was from Jersey. And matter of fact, my last year at Morehouse, when I saw her, I was one of the people. I told her, I said, "I'm not coming back next year. You're not gonna see me no more." And I just wanted to let you know when I had to tell some of my friends I wasn't coming back, and I knew I was burned out. Tears was running down my face, and we were like close friends, back then. But she was one of the smartest girls on campus. Just to share with you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the people that were there at that time, and she made it through. But I, I didn't make it. But
Well, sometimes as long as you made it, as long as you graduated, you know what I'm saying, and overcame the odds, you know what I'm saying? The odds were stacked against you, but you know what? You overcame the odds, you know?
I thank God. I thank God.
Yeah, you knocked the enemy out the equation, you know what I'm saying?
Out the
And when
box,
you
knock them out the box, man.
yeah, when you knock him out the equation, the victory is right there, you know what I'm saying?
The victory is right there.
Yes, man. He's the door that you gotta get through. And once you get through him, move him out the way, you got it, you know what I'm saying? You got it. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes on God and everything will work wonders, you
everything
know what
will
I'm
work
saying?
out. Yeah.
Everything will work out
Well,
in your favor.
let me ask you, how long have you been a podcast host?
Um I wanna say I say almost a year.
Oh, that's all. Wow.
Yeah, man, but I've done it on and off before, but God pushed me into being a podcaster. So he was like, "You're born to do this stuff." You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
he said, "People need to hear your voice. People need to hear what you have to say." And I just was like, at first I was taken down by it because I didn't. At first I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that."
whoops. Oh, ooh.
Yeah, like at first I was taken away by it because I'm like, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? They'll be back. Do 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 do. Oh man, my head, my head.
Sorry,
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
I dropped it.
Everything happened, but nah, yeah, yeah. What he was saying is just you're made for it. Take it to the next level. And he said, but keep me in it. And I was doing my comic at the time, and he wanted me to do something to hold me over until my book takes off. And he said, when all of this takes off, when my book take off and my show take off, he's going to merge it together, and it's going to happen for me.
Oh, you did a book too.
I'm a comic book artist, remember?
Oh, comic book artist. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a comic book artist and writer.
Oh, wow, wow,
Yes,
wow.
sir. Yes, sir. You know,
That's awesome.
yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
I plan on taking over the world one day. Plan on conquer the world first.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. I mean, hey, I plan on conquering the world and taking over it. You know what I'm saying? And giving it back to God and doing what God want me to do with it.
That's a blessing. I like that term. I'm gonna have to borrow that. Giving it back to God.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? You
Giving it
got to
back
give
to
it back to
God.
God because I mean, I told him, I made a promise to him. I said, I'm gonna take over the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take over the world, and I'm gonna do everything I can possible to take over this world and conquer it and give it right back to you. If I can't do it, I'll die trying to do it. you know,
Wow.
because I want to, make him proud, make him happy. Because without him, there's no life. And I told him I put it all on my back. I put the whole world on my back. I don't care
Wow.
because this life, he mean the world. He means more to me than life. He means more to me than anything else. And
Yes.
I give everything I have for him.
Yes.
Everything I
Yes.
got.
Yes. Well, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You got that determination. You're
Oh
going to do
yeah.
it.
Because when you're determined to do something, and when you're determined to take it to the next level, when you're determined to be the best and determined to go for it all, can't nobody stop me. Can't nobody stop you. Can't nobody
Right.
stop anything. You know. And I told God, I said, I ain't stopping. You
Wow.
told me to do the show. I made a promise to him. I'm never gonna stop. I don't care if I have to do 10 shows day in every day, shows every day. I don't care. I'm gonna make you proud, and that's I want to make him proud, and that's what I want to make him. That's what I want to do.
That's a blessing. Well, I I woke up today and I said I was thinking about another title because I'm working. I'm not really working on another book, but I thought about doing another one. But I came up with a title, "Fighting to Fight Better."
Right.
So I'm gonna see if I can develop something out of that. I was gonna do looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah. We
I
all
might
need
have to, and I might have to do both of those uh, titles.
Hey,
One
I'll
in
promote him for you.
one in one and one in the other. You know,
I'll promote him for you. I'll promote
see
him for
what
you. Have you back on the show again.
and see what we can develop though. Um, yeah,
I have an idea. I have a I want to buy your book, man. I want to buy your book to crash, and how much do it cost?
it's $18 um, from me, but it's 20 if you get it on Amazon under Verdi Pringle Read on Amazon. But
Okay.
you my email address is Cromwell Clark 12 at myyahoo.com. But I'm also on Instagram under Oliver C. Hubbard, or I'm on Facebook under Puddin Hubbard, Puddin. Puddin is my family nickname that my family calls me. So you can just either hit me up on either one of those, um, either on Facebook or Instagram, or call my cell phone and I can get your book. And just text me your address and I could just mail you a book, through what's the thing? Not FedEx, but what's the
You talking about UPS?
yeah, UPS. I can have your book in like 2 days.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah.
Because what I want to do, I just want to, I want to promote it. I want to make sure that it gets out there, and I want to help you get out there. Get it out there, and
Well, I appreciate it. I'm promoting my music. Check out my music video on YouTube, Oliver Hubbard.
okay,
I came from this. It's been on YouTube for about 3 years, but I'm also somewhat working on a script right now, a movie script.
okay,
So if you know any screenwriters or anything, let me know.
okay.
I only done like 4 scenes of this movie script so far, but I'm trying to get the motivation to get it almost, if I could get like 11 or 12 or 15 scenes written down, that would give me a good start,
Mm-hmm.
for a short film. Um, I'm trying to develop. Yeah.
Very understandable. But do you have anything else to say to the people?
Yeah, just keep your head to the skies in the name of Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know,
Hey, you got to do what
you
you got to do, right?
gotta do what we gotta do. And I'm saying, I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for the hour that you gave me because I wasn't expecting to stay on for an hour, and see what happens when you start a black man crying.
Very understandable. Very understandable. I mean,
And I feel like your brother already. I feel
hey,
like your
call me
brother.
anytime you need me.
I
Anytime.
appreciate I appreciate it so much.
Not a
You know,
problem. You know what I'm saying? It's all
you know,
love and it's all happiness.
text Yolanda Mack your address and I could get it from her. Because, without her, I wouldn't have had this opportunity to get on. So I want to give her some credit too.
Miss
And
Yolanda Mack.
it's Yolanda Mack. And I give her credit for giving me the opportunity. I was on a podcast show earlier tonight, and I give her opportunity and give her praise and opportunity for that opportunity. So, I just want to give her a shout out, for that. And I'll get in contact with her and, see if it's all right if I stay in contact with you so I can have another opportunity.
Not a problem. Anytime. Anytime you want to come back.
All
Not a
right.
problem.
All right.
Yeah, let me take us out. Take us out of here. Yes, thank y'all for watching. It's been well. And it's been the 86th episode of the In Your Face Show. We out. Peace.
Peace.